What's up guys, Dylan with E7 Music School. Today we're going to be going over Your Betrayal by Bullet for My Valentine. It's been a minute since we've gone over a Bullet for My Valentine song. I think this is one of the first ones that I did on the channel. If not, Bullet for My Valentine was one of the first songs I did. It actually was the first song I did on the channel. So we're going to have a nice little throwback there. This song is really awesome. Got a lot of cool double bass parts, got a lot of cool fill parts. I'm sure you saw in the intro, so if you're interested in learning all that, let's just go ahead and hop right into it. Before we do that, I would like to mention that this song will be in parts, so I'll leave part 1 on YouTube. So part 2 will be on our website Teachable if you want to go check that out, and while you're there, I would consider becoming a monthly member. It's very beneficial because you're able to access all of the songs we've done instead of just one. So I would consider picking that up if you really like our stuff. Also would like to mention all the videos that we do after this one you would still get in the monthly membership, so even if you bought it like 2 weeks ago, all the ones that are new get added onto that, so it's just a really great thing. Go check it out. I mean, it's literally less than like $20, so if you want to progress your drumming career, I highly suggest going over there and learning all that stuff. We have a lot of useful information for you guys. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and jump into the video. Okay, so the first thing we have to do is this 9-stroke roll. So it's all going to be single strokes like this, right? The way I would count that is not really counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That can get a little hard. I would just count your right hand. Here's a cool tip: whenever you're doing rolls, especially single note rolls, you generally have this going on. So that right-left motion. So if you can count your right hand, that's going to be equal to the number that you do times 2, right? So if you have 1, 2, 3, 4, that's going to be 8. The other thing is, if you're ending on your left hand, it's going to be a even number, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, that was 8, because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If you're ending on your right hand, it'll be odd, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, that's 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right? It just works out that way because of how math anyway. So this one's going to be a 9-stroke. So 5 hits with your right hand, and the last one is just right on its own. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I count that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 5 is just by itself. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? And then you have these 5 strokes afterwards. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, right? So that'd be 2 times 2, 4 plus the 1 on 5, that's 5. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So the whole thing is it's 9, 5, 5. And I would just practice doing that with your hands so that it gets really comfortable, so you don't have to really think about counting, right? So you can just do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so that's going to happen, I believe, 4 times. Three, 4. And then we're going to add in the bass drum. So that's going to sound like this after you do that 4th one. So all I did there was crash on that very first note of the roll. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you're going to add the bass drum in. So the bass drum's going to give you like a steady pulse. Cool tip here is the bass drum's always going to land on the right hand. Right? You have hits on 1, 5, and 9 on that roll. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then the rest of them are just on 1 and 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or if you're counting with that one hand thing I talked to you about earlier. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Basically, just on every odd number, you're going to kick the bass. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So this is where the music really kind of helps come in, because as you do that with the song, you're able to really hear like where that's supposed to go. So as long as you don't change your right foot and you just keep everything the same, it'll work out fine. So we're going to do that 4 times as well, and then we get into the double bass part. So the double bass part that first starts us out is going to be the same one throughout all of the double bass parts. It's going to stay the same, and all we're doing is matching our hands to our feet. Right? So if you need to, start that slow. Or you can just do the bass part on its own. 1, 2, 3, same counting as before. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So same counting as before. That's also going to happen for 4 times. Okay, and then after that we're going to go into the kind of like tom buildup where it sounds like this. Okay, so that looks hard, but trust me, it's really not. All you're really doing is this. Right, that's with your hands. So you do that 3 times. So you have this 8th note floor tom going on the whole time. So snare, right, snare, right, snare. That's going to be 1. Snare, right, snare, right, snare. Snare, right, snare, right, snare. Okay, and then looping that, you do and snare, right, snare, right, snare, and snare, right, snare, right, snare, and snare, right, snare, right, snare, and. Snare, right, snare, right, snare, and snare, right, snare, right, snare, and. Cool, so all that's just going to go over the top of the double bass. So you're just doing this. So how to know you're doing this right is that your right hand and right foot line up. Right? So that's without the double bass, just doing. So my tips for getting this with double bass are pretty much just get the tom part down first, and then be able to play double bass kind of fluently up to this tempo. That 134 mark, right? 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4, like that kind of double bass speed. So around that 134 mark, you're good. If you can do it above that, this should be a piece of cake. So let's pretend like we already got that down. Okay, and then we're at that and. Then we do this fill. So I'm just going to do it without the double bass first, and then you add the double bass in. So the fill goes like this. So you have 5, but this time starting with the left hand. So that same thing, 1, 2, 3 with the left hand. 1, 2, 3. Same rules apply for doing it right hand. 1, 2, 3, right? 1, 2, 3 is by itself. And then we have that 2, and then 2, 2, and then 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, right? So you have this back and forth twice. So you start snare, tom, snare, tom, snare, tom, and then you fill out, right? Okay. And you're going to do that left, right, right, left, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, all the way through the rest of it. Right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, crash. Okay? And all of that's going to have double bass with it. So, because of the nature where we're starting this, it starts left foot. Right? So it's very easy to get confused here which foot goes with what, but trick is it's just left hand, left foot, right hand, right foot. Just kind of playing that matching game. Okay, so start that slow. And I would just get that down without the double bass first. And then again, add on double bass once it feels comfortable. It's a little bit easier to get into it from the actual like tom parts. So from that crash, we just go back into that 9-5-5 pattern with the double bass. But this time, instead of matching, we're going to do the actual beat. Okay, and then we have another fill right there, but let's go into the beat first. Okay, so the actual beat's gonna go like this. So that's the beat on its own without any changes or anything in there. So you have that hi-hat coming in on 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So the same timing that we did for that bass is the same thing for the hi-hat here. Right, you can even hear that like from, I'll just switch from that to the actual snare part. Same exact timing, it's just you're moving your hand over to the hi-hat and you're doing that timing. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 with the bass drum, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, snare, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, snare. Okay. So same timing there. It's just we're switching it over for the hi-hat and we're adding the snare on the 3 of the 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? We kind of have that like just real basic 2 and 4. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then the other 2 snares after that are going to come on the 1 from 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3. And when I'm counting here, I'm counting my right foot. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, right? I'm counting my right foot. And after that, you just have and snare for the rest of it. And snare, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, snare, 1, 3. Okay, and then the rest of that's pretty much self-explanatory. You just do it over and over again. Snare, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, snare. And you're going to crash with the snare there. So when you do that second time, that's where it transitions over to the crash. Pretend like we did the fill. So we crash on 1. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Crash with snare. And then we go into the crash section, which is just taking your right hand, moving it over to the crash. Everything else is the same. Okay, and then right there on that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, on that second time we do the crash beat. So let's pretend like we're doing 1, 2. Okay, so right there it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But we're gonna move our right hand down to the tom, and we have that same kind of tom pattern we did earlier. Where it's a snare, right, left, snare, right, left, crash. So that same thing for the build up, right? Did we just do 2 of them here though? Or 1 technically, so. And that's the loop, so it's all stuff we've already pretty much known for the main beat. So let's just go over all of that really quick, and then I'm gonna play from the beginning up to here with music so you can see how it kind of flows into each other, because it's all really connected. It's all pretty much like the same concepts we're doing, just in different areas and in different things. Okay, so here's that full chorus beat for you guys. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4. Important to note, when you're coming out of this, the bass stops and it's just crash 1, kind of like a pause, like you're almost like floating almost. Like, and I mean the term floating like loosely because it's like, right, you feel like everything's going really heavy up until that part where it just kind of stops and you're like, whoa, and then you come back in. Then you do it again. And then those crashes right there, that bum 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 bum, it's just matching the guitar when it does that, like bum 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 bum, that part. And that's gonna come in on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. Bum 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 bum. So the same place you would start that fill to do the in the verse beat, you would just do the crashes there. Okay, cool. So, like I promised, I'm just going to go ahead and go from the beginning to the end of that until we get into the verse section, because the verse beat is going to be way different than everything else we've already played. It's got a lot of independent bass work, so we're just going to go ahead and go over that when we get to it, but as promised, let me just go ahead and play from the beginning. Bass. 3. way through that first verse actually. Kind of lying a little bit when I said I wouldn't do that, but I just wanted to show you guys what was coming up next, so you're a little bit more prepared for that, okay? So, that verse beat without music sounds like this. Back into the and you have that fill at the end. So very similar build up to what we did before, but let's go into the verse beat. So that verse beat, it's gonna be divided in like two halves. So that first half is this. So I'm going to count that all as like one rotation. So you have crash and bass snare for the first little bit of it. Crash and bass snare, bass drag, bass snare. So if you want to just not put the drag in here for right now, it's totally cool. So crash and bass snare, bass and bass snare. So the way I like to think of that is there's like two little hi-hats in the middle that you have to kind of watch out for. So first little bit, crash and bass snare, 1 2. So just get that down. Crash and bass snare, 1 2. Prep stroke is going to be very, very important here. Just getting ready to kick those basses, right? You can see me lifting my foot when I need to, when I'm like kind of anticipating a kick. Crash and bass snare, 1 2. Then you have bass and bass snare, 1 2 3. Okay, bass and bass snare, 1 2 3. Bass and bass snare, 1 2 3. So that's coming after that 1 2 that we did in the beginning. 1 2 bass and bass snare, 1 2 3 crash, and then it loops again. So that first section from one crash to the next, let's just do that. Cool. Crash and bass snare, 1 2 bass and bass snare, 1 2 3 crash. So we're gonna do that again after that crash. Okay, so crash and bass snare, 1 2 3 crash, 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 bam, crash, crash, crash. And that's like the end of one set, if that makes sense. And then we just repeat all of that. So the actual crash part goes like this. Crash and bass snare, 1 2 3 1 2 3 blam, 1 2 3. Let's just finish out one set, get it really nice and firm, okay? Okay, so that's one whole set down. Bass and bass snare, 1 2 3 crash and bass snare, 1 2 3 crash, 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 bam, crash, crash, crash. And from there we just start it over. 1 2 bass and bass snare, 1 2 3 crash and bass snare, 1 2 3 bass, bum 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 bum. That second set is gonna have a little bit of a difference. It's just one extra bass. So before we go into that, it's bass crash, it's a bass crash, 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 snare, crash, crash, crash. Instead of just 1 2 3 crash, 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 snare, crash, 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 we have an extra bass. So all you do there is after the 1 2 3 crash and bass snare, 1 2 bass crash. Okay, so it's kind of optional whether you do that bass. It's not really important, right? If you want to be accurate to the song, just remember that on that second set through, before you get into that crash, 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 flam, crash, 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 that part, there's a bass right there. So, okay, and then that's pretty much the only difference in that set from the first one. So, let me play both of those back to back so you can see what it looks like. And then we get into the next part. So remember how I told you to leave out that drag. If you want to put it in, it goes on that bass, bass, and bass, and bass snare after the 1, 2. So what I mean by that is it goes right here. Bass and bass and bass snare, 1, 2, bass drag. 1, 2, bass drag and bass snare, 1, 2, 3, bombs, bomb, bomb. Bass and bass snare, 1, 2, bass drag. Okay, so it's really simple where that goes, but actually doing it might be a little bit of a challenge. So it's a drag with bass. So just remember that when you're kicking the bass, it's kind of like a teeter-totter almost, where like your left foot comes up and your right foot goes down, like that. So if you need to practice your drags, go for it. Right, until you can do them really fluid. But that's pretty much it for the first 2 sets of the verse. So that's already done. Let's go on to sets 3 and 4. So here's sets 3 and 4 without music. And then you're back into the build up after that. So, beginning of set 3 sounds like that. Crash, bass snare, bass, bass. Okay, so crash, bass snare, bass, bass, bass snare. 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 Okay. Now you have this kind of wonky part to play. It feels a little bit swung, like bass and bass, bass snare. It's like almost swung, but it's not. But it is. It's so weird, but it's cool and I love it. So you have bass and bass, bass snare, bass and bass, bass snare, bass crash. Bass and bass, bass snare, bass and bass, bass snare, bass crash. Bass and bass, bass snare, bass and bass, bass snare, bass crash. So let's just go from that first part that we did. Right there, bass, bass snare, bass, bass, bass snare. So from right there, bass and bass, bass snare, bass and bass, bass snare, bass crash. So it's just that twice. Bass and bass, bass snare, bass and bass, bass snare, bass crash. And then we end with bass crash. That whole thing, here we go. Bass, bass snare, bass, bass, bass snare, bass, bass, bass snare, bass, bass, bass snare, bass crash. Bass, bass snare, bass, bass, bass snare, bass and bass, bass snare, bass and bass, bass snare, bass crash. Bass, bass snare, bass, bass, bass snare, bass and bass, bass snare, bass and bass, bass snare, bass crash. So when you're listening to the song, you can kind of hear like what I mean by it's like almost swung, but it's like not. When you're playing it at tempo, it's like bump, 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 and then the ending of that, it's just a bass, bass snare, bass, bass, bass snare, bass, and then you have crash, 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 flam, crash, 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 just like we did in the other 2 sets. Bass, bass snare, bass, bass, bass snare, bass, crash, 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 flam, crash, crash, crash. Okay, important to note that bass snare, bass crash is a double afterwards. It's like bass snare, bass, bass, snare, bass, crash, 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 one, crash, crash, crash. So that whole third set, one more time. Bass and bass, bass, snare, bass and bass, bass, snare, bass, crash, bass, snare, bass, 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 snare, bass, crash, 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 one, crash, 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 bass, snare, bass, 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 snare, bass, 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 snare, bass, crash, bass, snare, bass, 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 snare, bass, crash, 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 one, crash, crash. Build up. And you have that fill. But let me talk about one more thing really quick. So that transition from getting over here from heavy hi-hat so I like to move my foot from the hi-hat pedal to the bass pedal during that crash 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 part. So this part, right? So I don't know if you can see, but I'm like just gradually moving my foot over to the bass pedal during that. To get ready for that double bass, right? Because what happens sometimes to people who are just like getting used to like doing double bass and switching from like hi-hat pedal is they try to switch like right as the double bass comes in, and it's like, oh, I gotta do it, and you'll get this like kind of like flam almost for that first one, right? And it just doesn't sound good. So this is like prep stroke to the max, but instead of using it with your right foot, you're gonna use it with your left foot to move over to the bass pedal and just get ready to do that double kick section. So you can just practice doing that switch, right? I like to do it as soon as I hit those crashes. Sometimes you can get away with doing it a little bit later, so like, but as soon as I hit that part, I'm switching over, so because I just want to be ready for that next part, okay? You don't want to be caught off guard with that double bass. Trust me, you don't, because when you do, it's very, very sloppy. It sounds like you can kind of hear that like slop in the beginning where I'm like, oh, okay, gotta get ready for it, you know what I mean? So don't do that. Very good idea not to do that. Just move your foot over early. That's it. So now let's do that whole verse section without music, just so you can get an idea of like how it's gonna sound all together, and then we'll go over the new fill and the build up, all that stuff. Okay, so here we go. That first verse without music. I'll go from the crash, 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 bump. This is all closed. That fill in the build up, let's go ahead and go over that right now. So we have the regular build up, 3, the same exact way we start the other one, but this time we're just gonna end on the snare. And I want you to really make that last hit on the snare like a rim shot, like really loud. Really, really rim shot that one, okay? So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Left, right, 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 left. Rim shot, really loud. Okay, so with the double bass. Okay. And then you're back into run away. going to go ahead and leave it at that. That's going to be part 1 for Your Betrayal. If you want to check out the rest of this, make sure to click the link in the description, go over on our website Teachable, check that out. If you practice all these parts, technically you can play the whole song. There's just a couple things we're missing, mainly like the break / bridge, the bridge down. I'll call it the bridge down because it's not necessarily a breakdown, but it is somewhat of one. I don't know. I'm not gonna give it a name. I did actually. It's called the bridge down. So you won't know the bridge down, but you will have most of the song done. If you wanted to just play like that same second verse for the first verse, you can. There are some minor differences if you want to know those, some extra basses and stuff, so if you need help with all that. But I'm just going to go ahead and leave it here. Check out the full video on Teachable. If you want to become a monthly member, highly suggest you should do that because you get access to every song, not just this one. So yeah, go check that out. Links in the description. Like, comment, share, subscribe. I don't know. Tell me like your favorite color in the comments or something. Just do it because I said so. From there, I'm just going to go ahead and leave it and let you guys get out of here. I will see you in the next one. Peace.